I call the regular meeting of the Waterworks and Lighting Commission for Wednesday, November 13th, 2013 to order. We will start with the introductions.
Jim Brown, General Manager.
Joe Guzicki, Commissioner.
John Harper, Chairperson, and John Bergen is excused absence today.
Tom Novak, Commissioner.
Mike Phillips, Commissioner.
Jeff Kuhn, Finance Director.
Todd Weiler, Engineering.
Joel Matthews, Office Manager.
Matt Storman, Information Systems Administrator.
Dale Schuman, Water Superintendent.
Kurt Pulvermacher, Conservation Manager.
Rick Merton, Encourage Community Foundation.
Carol Kupza, Investor.
Scott Kellogg, Alderperson from 3rd District.
Mike Zerflu, Zerflu Realty and Rentals.
Chris Sawicki, Regional Safety Coordinator.
Roxanne Gronsky.
Thank you. For public comment, please keep in mind that this is a business meeting of the Waterworks and Lighting Commission and not a public hearing. Persons who wish to address the commission may do so, but should not expect to engage in discussion with the commissioners or expect commission employees to answer specific questions during the public comment period. Individuals will be allowed to speak in order in which they have signed up. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes per individual. And Carol would like to speak.
Yes, last month I gave you a copy of somebody that had signed up for service over at 130 14th Avenue South. And that person, the name on there lived in Texas. Now, when I told people they had to get it in their own name, they came to sign up. And now a son who does not live at that property signed up, and Joel called and said, this is a contract between them, Waterworks and Lighting, and this fellow, and I'm not involved in it. But if they don't pay their water and sewer bill, then I am involved. So which way is it?
Can you follow up sometime after the meeting?
Follow
Check
up.
into that?
Sure,
or-
Joel probably yes. Next.
Okay. Rick, did you want to add anything at this time?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a public comment about, as a utility customer and community member, city resident, I attended the open house. That was last month, right? Sometime. And just, it was wonderful. It was the first time I was at the open house, and good food and good time. And if you have it again next year, I encourage everybody to come out and participate. And I would like to get a copy of the salsa recipe. So,
We'll talk to Ted about that. Thanks, Rick.
And I'm pretty tight lipped about his recipes.
Thank you, Rick. Mike?
Thank you. I was in contact with Andrew Carden. He's an attorney with the PSC regarding the water and sewer bills being placed on the landlord. And basically, I'll read what he emailed here. And it says subsection 5 addresses situations where the landlord and utility are working together to make sure that the tenant pays their bills. Subsection 5 only applies to Wisconsin's conditions in Wisconsin statute, and I won't read that, or met, the statute number I won't read. These sections require the landlord to identify the name and address of the property owner and tenant, and upon request, provide a copy of the lease to show that the tenant is responsible for utility bills. If these conditions are met, the utility must keep sending notices to the tenant for unpaid bills, while also notifying the property owner about the delinquencies. This process is designed to encourage cooperation between the property owner and the utility, so the utility can seek payment from the tenant more diligently. Under sub 5B, if the delinquent tenant never pays the bill, the municipality may collect their arrearages using the tax roll process. This would be the only situation where a municipality water utility can choose to use the tax roll process. Such a decision must be applied in all cases in a non-discriminatory manner. Like he said, when I talked to him, then you don't have to place it on the landlord's burden. You may, but you don't have to. And we've tried to work with Water and Light. I'm willing to yet. I believe Carol, other members of the Landlord Association are willing to. You guys you're not mandated to do this. This is in response to from the last meeting, I gave him the information from there. The other thing I'd like to comment on, I did have a meeting with Kurt from Water and Light, and in the meeting, he said, why are you throwing Water and Light employees under the bus? I'm not doing that. You know, the responses I typically get are the limited resources we have and the ratepayers. In doing more research and paying you guys to get this from you, Water and Light's policy, I don't know of any company, because I've done some research, that has the benefits. And I'm just talking the paid time off. Water and Light employees, and I've got it right here, get 11 holidays paid, get 12 sick days, up to 12 sick days a year paid, and 5 personal days. That's 28 days a year. If you take that, if you just cut that down in half, which would still, that's not counting vacation, that's still, 14 days would be tremendous, I think. If you cut that in half, that would save about 2.5 employees. I don't know what the employees make, but if that's 100,000 or more, that would more than make up for what the landlords are responsible for here. These benefits are, I'd love to have that. I haven't taken 28 days off in my life. I don't know of any company out there that gets that kind of time off, and I think this stuff needs to be looked at if we're truly worried about the ratepayers. I think Water and Light does a great job. I want to emphasize that. I think the employees do a great job. I know they put themselves in a dangerous position, you know, going out when there's ice on the lines and stuff like that. I think they do a phenomenal job. I'm not asking you to cut their wages or anything like that. I think they should get good benefits, but I think these are tremendous benefits, and I think there's a way to, if we're worried about the ratepayers, to save them money. And there's a way to solve this landlord issue that we can do too, but I don't think Water and Light is willing to do that, in my opinion. Thank you for your time.
Okay, we'll need a motion for approval, additions, or corrections to the agenda as mailed.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
There's been a motion by Tom, seconded by Joe, to approve the agenda. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Approval, additions, or corrections to the minutes of the regular commission meeting held October 9th, 2013.
I'll make that motion.
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay. Motion's been made by Tom, seconded by Mike, to approve the minutes of the October 9th meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Are there any action items?
No.
Okay, none. Business and discussion, focus on energy. Kurt?
Really nothing to report other than as I had in my report that I was at for a stakeholder meeting in Madison earlier, or actually in October. Just for updates.
Great Lakes Utilities, John?
Great Lakes Utilities had 2 meetings in October. One was held the 15th. It was a conference call to a final review of the budgets for 2014, both the Power Supply Committee and the Lakes Wind Project. So all those questions were answered and fully vented. Then we had the annual meeting in Marshfield on the 30th. The annual report was approved. The budget received its final approval. And 3 of the members, the Blue West members, had their assignment agreements approved and assigned to Blue, so Blue will start administering power supply to those 3 new members. So other than that, that's it.
Thank you. Department updates. Safety Committee?
I have a question. It said Chad O'Keefe will be investigating a warning light system for overhead garage doors to help alleviate damage to the doors. What I feel it's, in the past, what I've thought that we cannot use garage doors as man doors. Is that true? That our employees cannot walk under an overhead door? There's supposed to be a man door next to them?
There are man doors right next to them that they do use.
Okay. And what is a warning light, so there's no damage to the doors? Is that so like somebody doesn't drive into them?
Right. It'll tell them, it'll be red if the door is in motion and not in the open position, it'll be red. When it's finally all the way open, it'll turn green and then they can drive through it so they don't
Okay.
catch the truck.
And are the employees told or encouraged not to walk in
Typically,
under
very
overhead
seldom.
doors?
Very, very seldom they walk into the garage door, it's usually always through
Okay,
every door.
all right.
Has a larger drain oil barrel been purchased or
We're looking
arrangements
into
made?
finding the most cost-effective way to address that.
Chris, would you like to update us on anything? I know you just recently joined here, but just a follow-up.
Yeah, I did a review of the programs, and I found that 4 of them were, it was that time of year again to do a review and update, and those have been sent around for approvals. And once we get those fully approved, then the programs will be all up to snuff.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, it's been very good.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments for the safety committee?
Was the water thing moved? That water, it says here.
Not yet, but it's going to be, we gotta move some other things out of the way to get it still over in position. That's on the agenda to do so.
Okay. Line superintendent's report. Paul isn't here, but I'm sure any questions can be answered.
Looks like we're losing the war to the squirrels.
Yeah, we're actually winning it, but slowly.
You mean we might lose the war, but we're winning the battles?
We're winning the battle. These numbers have dropped since we started installing the squirrel guards, but it's going to take years to, put them on the entire system.
Trees and lines, was that due to a storm?
No, that was that Saturday where we had those high winds.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, water department report. Dale, would you like to give an update on the filter plant project?
Kind of give you an idea what's going on. We tore down the lime silo, that went down in pieces. Well, it was nice to see that disappear. Went down without no major concerns or damage to anything else, that went well. Downstairs, they do have the caustic supply tanks in place and all piped. We're doing a couple other finishing touches to the transfer tanks for the caustic, but things are moving ahead, going well. The concrete poured out here for the chlorine cabinet and so forth, so things that have to be done outside are pretty much got taken care of, so going well.
Thank you.
I got a question for you. I don't have a question, Dale. I gotta compliment your men for that, on that open house. They did one heck of a job explaining things upstairs. And the reason I say it is, my wife, who's critical as Hector, they explained it to her, and I turned to her, I said, "Did you understand it?" She said, "Everything I was supposed to." So, when she says that, you men did a good job.
Yeah, thank you, I'll pass
And
it along.
I thank you for the pictures, too.
Office manager's report. Thank you for another nice newsletter that's coming out. You're welcome. Any other questions, comments? Director of Finance report. Okay, we'll move on to Information Systems report.
What is, again, what is the timeframe for the GIS field inventory to be completed?
March.
March. And I see that they're moving on to the next set of circuits or whatever.
Yeah, it's actually the last set of circuits, but it actually encompasses about 40% of what they're going to
Oh, okay.
So it's the largest portion.
Very good.
Well, it's the largest single portion, I should say.
Thanks.
And what about the water inventory?
It's already in GIS.
Yeah, we already have that.
Oh, okay. Yes, Rick?
What are, like, can you comment on the bulk of the city hall IT tickets? What's,
Just user issues and basic computer problems. So,
Okay, nothing.
Can't log in anymore then, or
Okay.
something like that.
For viewers that don't know, Water and Light provides contract IS services for city, so that's why it's reflected in Matt's report.
Any other questions or comments? Conservation Manager's report. Seeing none, Engineering Supervisor report.
I don't have any questions, but I want to say something. Todd was nice enough to ask me in the class that he had for the linemen, and it had to do with arc flash safety for line crews. And man, I was impressed. That was a good class. And a week later, just to keep me busy, he invited me to an update for proper terminations of underground cables. And I gotta admit, what I learned there just made me realize I'm very close to a dinosaur. Boy, are things different. But thanks again.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments? General Manager report. Seeing none, any correspondence?
Yes, there is. We have a thank you note that says, Waterworks and Lighting Commission, thank you for your donation of water to a Walk for Hope raising suicide awareness in Wood County. Sincerely, Health People, Wood County Mental Health Team.
Okay, thank you. Review of accounts payable.
Todd, I asked Jim about the traffic and parking control, the signal parts. Do we keep a large inventory of that, or?
We try to. One of the big surprises when I started here was seeing how many traffic lights actually get hit by vehicles. We've actually had 5 traffic signals knocked down by vehicles in the last 2 weeks.
So we've had no weather yet.
Yeah, and none of the roads have been slippery, so try to figure that out.
What is it attributed to? Cell phone use?
I couldn't even tell you. I'm assuming that's probably a big,
medication?
yeah, that's probably a big part of it is the texting or whatever that happens. But so yeah, the breakaway bases, we try to at least keep about 20 or 30 of those on hand because we go through those pretty quickly. So.
And thanks.
Yep.
Yes, Rick.
I'm not familiar with the American Public Power Association annual dues. Is that like a per, what is that based on? Is that like a per?
It's based
user
upon
or-
your revenues and your kilowatt hour sales.
Okay, a certain percentage or something?
Correct, and that's our state trade association. basically all 2,000 public power systems across the country are members of APPA.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, other business?
Not today, we were been in here all morning, so.
Any other business? Okay, I would entertain a motion for adjournment. So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, motion's been made by Joe, seconded by Mike to adjourn. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.